Yeah. Okay, we're going to begin now. I would like to acknowledge the First Nations, First Storytellers, and traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Sovereignty has never been ceded. This is stolen land. So, welcome everyone. Can you all hear me? Thanks. Yeah, I thought maybe none of you heard me at all. This is Dial Up. I am Miles Campisi. I'm your host for the evening. This is an event which is about finding online communities and spaces and just like a voice for yourself online. So I thought instead of reading my bio for Emerging Writers Festival, I'd read like the one from my main like online account, which is Tinder. So here it is. Miles, gallery attendant. I'm a comedian, in case that's a deal breaker. All-round unsuccessful creative, looking for men for various purposes. Thank you. I actually did use my picture that I took for Emerging Writers Festival as my main Tinder pic, because I was like, that looks alright. I look vaguely professional there. Can you all hear me? Okay. Sorry. Oh, good, you can. No, it's not like I'm like going, you're not laughing. It's just like I'm trying to find the optimum distance between my mouth and this. It's too far away and there's not much sound, and too close and you can hear every sound going on inside my mouth. And I can hear them too, and like I don't want people to know that my mouth is making those noises. So I think this is all right. Good. All right. Closer. This is good. Okay. Yay. Good. All right. Sorry, I'm already we're way behind, and I'm taking up too much time already. So I think it's fine for us just to go right into it now. Our first reader. Oh wait, no. I still got more stuff to say. Oh dear. I was so determined not to make this line about me, okay, so yeah, I haven't. This is not like I didn't do this. I didn't put this all together. The woman who is responsible for this, she has requested that I keep it anonymous until the end, just in case I fuck it up really badly, so she can distance herself from it. That's all. I didn't need to make that real detour. Our first reader is Emma Marie Jones. Woo, indeed. She is a Melbourne-based writer, 2015 Wheeler Centre Hot Desk Fellow, and 2016 Felix Meyer Scholar. She is the author of Something to be Tiptoed Around, a work shortlisted for the Scribe Nonfiction Prize for Young Writers in 2015, and it was released by Grattan Street Press in 2018. It's available at readings at the State Library, nowhere else. It's an exclusive, so get there and get it, please. But I mean, listen to her first and decide if you like it, but check it out. Okay, so she's been published in Lifted Brow, Meanjin, Seizure, and various others. It's time for her to come on stage. Welcome, Emma.
My mic really is sensitive. I just kicked it, and I think everyone heard what happened inside my foot, as well as inside my mouth at the time. Thanks, Miles, for warming it up. So I'm going to read some fiction. It's part of a larger work of fiction that I'm working on, but I'm not going to give you any context, so good luck. I'm just going to start reading. Some people believed that their bodies were temples, sacred meat animated by divine power, appointing each individual person to the dual role of custodian and sacrament. If you could believe such a thing, Laura thought, it would probably be enjoyable to have a body, to objectify yourself, to think of yourself as an instrument of great purpose and significance. Perhaps there was a way to be happy, focusing your life's energy on keeping your body pure and protecting it from the world's many harms. Laura's body was many things to Laura, but a temple wasn't one of them. Most of the time, her body was a mere tool, a pair of hands with which to navigate a tactile world. Sometimes Laura's body felt to her like a proxy, an envoy that could render her most arcane self into something or someone legible to others. When she was with a man, Laura's body felt to her like it was edible, and she wore it as though it were a glistening slow-motion patty in a burger commercial, flinging it with abandon onto mattresses that felt under her flesh like so many soft white buns. Right now, Laura knew that her body was fulfilling one of its truer purposes, which was to improve itself for the judgment of others. Her yoga mat was rolled out in a patch of late spring sunlight, a light which made the floating dust motes held within it appear animated and energized. As instructed by the woman on her laptop screen, Laura breathed this energy and light in through her nose and held it in her body for one gentle, lengthy moment before releasing it, freshly charged with the energy of her sinuses and throat and lungs, out of her mouth and back into the room. In this way, the woman rationalized, Laura's energy and the room's energy would begin to mix together, which would help Laura's body to acclimate, as though Laura's body were a dog or a potted plant. The pace of Laura's body needed to get slower. If she continued to breathe in this way, and to imitate the fluid movements of the woman, Laura's inner self would become glacial, and she would develop the ability to cover great distances of time and space. These distances would be covered so slowly, the woman said, that your physical body would not notice the change in scenery. Your inner self is reaching the new destination, said the woman, enigmatically. The woman, who was white and had lemon yellow dreadlocks, was named Aspen. Aspen's yoga channel was famous because she blended traditional hatha yoga with her own personal brand of meditation. She had more than 400,000 followers, and she posted a new video once a week. This week's video was called Yoga for Your Inner Glacier, and Laura was taking it very seriously. It was true, she knew, that her body needed to get slower. Aspen was totally right. Looking for work was stressful. Loving Joel was stressful. The cracks on her phone screen and her low-carb diet was stressful, so stressful. It was a burden on her heart rate and the smoothness of her skin to carry all of this stress. Do you feel the vibrations of the floor under your yoga mat? Aspen was asking Laura and more than 400,000 other people. Whether it's carpet, tiles, or grass, each floor type has its own vibration. Tune into that, the energy of these vibrations, and draw that energy through your mat and into your body. Laura felt the uneven floorboards under her butt through the soft foam. She questioned the energy inside of them. While Aspen breathed loudly and slowly, Laura pondered the origin of the energy of floorboards. Did their energy come from their original tree? Or did they hold the energy of past tenants whose bedroom this had been? Strangers whose feet had swung out of their beds and onto these boards morning after morning, leaving traces of their rhythms and their moods. Laura's butt detected vibes of boredom and aspiration, and she dutifully tried to soak them up. From the perspective of some imagined outsider, Laura's bedroom was basically an advertisement for wellness and inner beauty. This was deliberate, since Laura constantly forced herself to imagine these accidental viewers of her life in order to maintain a kind of outward perfection. She allowed herself to become distracted momentarily by a vision of her bedroom from the outside. Spotlit by the dusty sunbeam was her body, back straight, eyes closed, palms facing upward, expectant and vulnerable. Her movements were mirrored by or mirrored those of Aspen, who was more beautiful than Laura but smaller due to her yoga studio having been scaled to Laura's 13-inch screen. A large potted palm cast its spiky, elongated shadow across the laptop's keyboard. The palm was very green and it looked happy to be alive. I thought, maybe the floorboard still held some small and vital kilojoule of Joel's energy, leached from the sole of Joel's foot. He'd only been here once, but maybe a hair or a flake of dead skin lay flush with the wood whose energy Laura was right now imbibing. It felt very important to absorb this part of Joel, to fuse her energy with Joel's before it attained a new glacial power. Aspen's voice echoed through the chambers of Laura's body with a new intensity. Laura felt her teeth vibrating, the way they did when she was about to get a migraine. Aspen had smoothly segued her body into a tabletop position. Her boobs fell perpendicular to her torso, restrained and shaped by a sports bra. Laura knew that if she scrolled through the comments, she would find many references to this frame of the video, clickable numbers that would lead her to this exact minute and second at which Aspen's famous boobs had swung from upright like a human's to downward facing like a cow's. On her hands and knees, Aspen arched her spine upwards and then slowly reversed the movement, bending it concave. She made these motions repetitively, inviting Laura and more than 400,000 others to do the same. You're carrying mountains on your back, she reminded everyone. Move slowly and the mountains will move with you. Because you're the foundation, the mountain doesn't have a choice. Laura thought about what kind of choices a mountain might make. She pictured the major mountains in her life, her lack of employment, her house that was so far away from Joel's house, her body that was probably so unlovable to Joel and to other men, her credit card debt, her mother, her weekend plans that she wanted to cancel. She pictured all of these barriers as a unique topography sprouting from her back, and she pictured herself moving slowly in any direction that made these mountains mad. Copying Aspen's movements exactly, it became a necessary truth in Laura's mind that the shapes she was making with her body in her bedroom were identical to the shapes that Aspen's body was making on the screen. When Aspen folded her body neatly in half, touched her toes, legs straight and tight, Laura copied her. She didn't even feel her own knees bend. After Laura finished the yoga video, she picked up her phone and held it in her hand. Her body felt relaxed and strong, as though it had been channeling some life force other than its own. She felt close to Joel, as she had when they were dating. She knew he must feel this way too, because she had absorbed his energy and it was moving along inside of her glacier. So she texted him, "Did you feel that?" Joel texted back a single question mark. While Laura stared at it, saddened and confused, a small grey ellipsis appeared to indicate that Joel was in the process of adding to this minimalist punctuation. "What am I feeling?" Joel sent with a winky face. Laura breathed very deeply in through her nose and out through her mouth. She texted back and told Joel that she could touch her toes without bending her knees, and he replied and told her that that sounded really hot. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Emma. When I used to host, I would make them everyone after they did their performances, but I'm actually trying to reform myself. So I just sincerely thank you very much. And now we're going to move on to Eloise. I meant that. I can't not sound horrible. Eloise Grill is a Melbourne-based comics artist, essayist, zine maker, and poet who tries to throw all her eggs into her stuffed creative basket. Her illustrations, comics, poetry, photography, photographs, and essays have been published widely, most recently in Ibis House Meanjin memoir for Scum magazine. She tweets and grams from @Grillzoid and uses Patreon to cover her extravagant lifestyle. There's a link to the Patreon, but I'm not going to read that out.
Read it. I'm joking.
No, I will now. Patreon.com/Grillzoid/ Go to it.
Hello, can everyone see if I stand here, or would you prefer me to move somewhere else? That's good? Okay. Someone respond to me. I need feedback. So this is a comic poem that I wrote that's kind of a tribute to Lana Del Rey. So if you don't like Lana Del Rey, then you're not going to like it or me. So you should get out now. So it's called Love is a Biker You Can Call Daddy. He kissed me and it hit all at once, the click of a historically accurate gun. Beautiful and painless, a supernova in place of my vocal cords. Love is a biker you can call daddy, fragments of skull ricochet in celluloid. Sometimes my arms bend back, sometimes I am young and in love. Dead and glad wrapped at the same time, Miss Havisham's cake in a space bag. Botox my anxieties from the face of the earth, because tonight I've got my red dress on in black and white. To burn down Dr. 90210's production offices, because tonight I'll tell you I don't believe in beauty, if you call me pretty just one time. It's a comic about insomnia you can read. I'm not going to read it out. Maybe I am, I don't know. No. This is the last poem. Oh. To new beginnings. Being this far into love is like scattering breadcrumbs down the back of your pants, so I can eat your ass later when we're shivering lost in the woods. It's free bleeding into a shark-infested pool. It's like saying to new beginnings or to evil, and watching its comedic effect diminish with each return. It's believing in the stupid kind of magic, a sleight of hand with a whole fan fist, a trial subscription I forget to shut off 24 months in a row, because I'm far too willy-nilly with my credit card details and my romantic overtures. It's a cheap trick or a really expensive one that cheapens immediately by being carried out, like David Copperfield making the Statue of Liberty disappear, but only from her bad side. Like making an elephant vanish through hunting and habitat devastation. Like rocking a breakup haircut before the breakup. There is not a speck of poetry in it, not the still air beneath the kaya, not the sweet tutu-y that made wet eye contact with me this morning, the mossy thighs of ferns reaching up to a heaven that will never lick them just the way they want. Like how a love like ours could be so perfect, yet guaranteed to end like a shitty movie, and not a populist romantic one. A gritty, shitty movie. Your eyes spangled fish scales from a bloated puppet fish below, floating bloody snowflakes. We link hands in a really romantic funeral march, both holding in the need to expire like a fart. But when I let go, I'll let it be silent. Let it be deadly. Cool. I think we need to go to the next slide. Some sharks. No one likes sharks. Some people like sharks. And this is another little comic. I think everyone's read it. Okay, this is a poem about my secret special boyfriend. So I'm sorry, Jackie. I'm slowly molding my depression into the life partner I deserve. I'm piling it up like the unwashed clothes and coat hangers in my bed, shaping it into a boyfriend pillow I can spoon the whole night through. He has strong arms like a grave digger and big, strong hands. He knows all my faults and loves me not despite them, but because of them all. We've been seeing each other on and off for about 10 years, and things are starting to get serious, if you know what I mean. I'm saving myself for him. I'm kind of traditional like that. I'm waiting for him to come and take me, to ask that final question that tears me limb from limb. Shedding pieces of pre-relationship me like skin-colored confetti. I know they're never coming back. He's such a good listener, even when I'm screaming into my pillow. He hears every word and whispers, "Why don't you lie in the middle of the road, darling? Why don't you fill your mouth with the medicine cabinet, my treat? You only accept the love you think you deserve, and I think I deserve my just desserts. The quiet death, no one watching. Just my boyfriend with his strong hands. He really takes my breath away. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Eloise. Next up, we have Inhabit Journal, which is dedicated to publishing the ekphrastic poetry and prose of writers in collaboration with Melbourne-based art exhibitions. Their aim is to encourage relationships and dialogues between writers and visual artists. Each issue partners writers with visual artists on an art exhibition where the writers are encouraged to use artworks and conversations with the artists and curators to inform their poetry and prose. It was founded in 2016 by Kiara Lindsay and is now co-edited by longtime collaborator and friend Bridget Gilmartin. And Kiara and Bridget are just going to come in and do a little introduction. So welcome them, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Kiara, this is Bridget, and we're the co-editors of Inhabit Journal. Thank you so much for having us tonight. We're so excited to have been able to exhibit some of the type of work that we try to curate and encourage. So the journal is based around the concept of poetry in response to works of art. And so for each issue, we give the writers the opportunity to respond to a local exhibition in Melbourne. But we also encourage writers to form a dialogue with the artists about their work during the process and while they develop their responses. In group exhibitions in the past, we've had writers communicate directly with their chosen artists to talk about their process and practice and the ideas or concepts that inspired their work in order to inform their own writing. And then we launched the issue in the exhibition space with the readings by contributing writers. So we're born out of an interest in facilitating collaborations. Working creatively in the fields of writing and art can sometimes feel quite solitary, so being able to connect and share ideas in this cross-disciplinary way helps support community and creativity. While Inhabit is at this stage only a print publication, being able to connect with writers online through writing communities has been really helpful for both of us and all the writers involved.
So tonight,
Should probably speak into me. Tonight we're bringing you a collaboration between two creative people whose practices we are very excited by and admiring of, Agnes Whalen and Manisha Anjali. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about these two artists. Agnes Whalen is a Naarm-based musician and artist. Field Luck Street. They are a brooder in both senses of the word, deep thinker and egg nester. Manisha Anjali is a Melbourne-based poet and performer. She is the author of Sugarcane Woman, a collection of poems about the dreams and hallucinations of exiled Indo-Fijian women. Her work has also appeared in Seizure, Mascara Literary Review, Black Male Press, IKA Journal, and Law Journal. So we're going to be screening a video work by Agnes Whalen titled Dollhouse 2 Crybaby. After the screening, Manisha will be performing poetry that she's written in response to the work. Yeah, we really hope you enjoy it, and thanks so much for having us involved.
How the moon laughed when the demoness Hariti turned her back on the sun. How the moon laughed after devouring flesh. Her teeth were pomegranate flowers. And how the moon laughed. I put the seeds in my mouth, and from my mouth they grew. Blood flowers, blue flowers, flowers of livers, flowers of bones. The divine apple, broken, bursting, cut open, bleeding. The demoness's fullness and resurrection. Nail the fruit to the sky. The seed is sublime. Nail the fruit to the sky. The seed is sublime. Like open legs, like sweet, sweet wine. The seed is sublime. There are only 3 truths in the universe. Number 1, the most romantic people have already seen their deaths. Number 2, the most romantic people all smoke cigarettes. If you think you've lived a good life, not a sinner's life, but a saint's life, a real good life, at the moment of your death, you may lie to your side and take the lying position of a lion. The spirit will whisper in your ear a story about a girl who sold her soul to a blind owl. You'll find the seeds of love in your pocket. Plant it in the sky. From up here, you can watch yourself dreaming. From up here, you can move through the ceilings. From up here, you can hang upside down and whistle a sweet song with no meaning. The owl looks at the girl, and the girl looks at the owl, and they both cut off their hair, and they both cut up their clothes, and they both hear the sound of a Sun Ra record playing from the stars. The children are eating old pomegranates and chanting, chanting. Sun Ra is God. Sun Ra is God. Sun Ra is God. And the owl looks at the girl, and the girl looks at the owl, and they both cut off their eyes, and they both cut off their minds, and they both know the third truth of the universe is that space is the place. Illumination is like the mother. She is warm and sweet. The mother is like the lover. She is warm and sweet. The lover is like the flower. The flower is like the leather. The leather is like the flame. The flame is like the sun. She is warm and sweet. Illumination is to walk down the yellow brick road wearing the quilt that you've made from your bones. And how the moon laughed when the girl and the owl walked down the yellow brick road. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really beautiful. Just marvelous. So this is an event about online communities. So we do encourage you to check out these artists and check out all of these publications. We've got a few more that are actually going to be showing in the back room there, and I'm going to read out their bios for you. Bad Nudes magazine is a quarterly print and web literary magazine founded in 2016 by Thomas Nolander and Fawn Parker. The magazine publishes new and exciting work from emerging and established writers all over the globe. They are based in Montreal and accept submissions from anywhere. So, check them out and embrace the magic. I don't know why I wrote it that way, but sorry, it doesn't work. And then we also have Fresh and Fruity, which is an Indigenous collective based in Aotearoa. I absolutely did not say that correctly. It was founded primarily as a physical space in 2014, but now it exists entirely online and is run by Hannah Pera-Oke and Maya Morrison-Middleton. Fresh and Fruity's work spans performance, writing, interventions, video merchandise, and curating. Fresh and Fruity's work has been shown and published across Victoria, as well as in Australia, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Germany. Fresh and Fruity is a sexy new look designed to slowly smash the neo-colonial heteropatriarchy, one sarcastic hashtag at a time. Hashtag work bitch. Hashtag live, love, love, love. Yeah. So go check them out because we're going to have a 10-minute break. But do make it 10 minutes. Do go to the bathroom if you need to, and get back here as soon as possible because we've got 2 more performers, and then we can go home. Away. Hey everyone. I mean, you have to look at me, but you can sit down and get ready for some more performances. Take too much time, but do sit down. So, next up we have Heather Jones, who is a writer, filmmaker, and musician. Her short form memoir and poetry has been published online and in print and can be found in Scum Mag, Going Down Swinging, The Lifted Brow, and Plaything magazine, among others. She co-writes and directs a web series with her brother called Everything's Going to Be Fine, which is available on YouTube, and plays drums in the band Fine Hearts. She asked me, she didn't ask me specifically, but wanted me to say something kind of insulting, but like in a nice way. But I actually couldn't think of anything mean to say about her. But like I also think that even me comes across as really nasty. So you're a lovely person. Fuck you for not giving me anything nasty to say. Get up here and perform.
Hey. Hey, this is the first time I've been in front of an audience since coming out as transgender, and I'm pretty scared, but if we all stick together, everything's gonna be fine. Even having my bio read makes me kind of nervous, like I'm trying to impress you.
Yeah, we have to go right now. Things have been really weird lately. No one's feeling
Your everything's dead.
what the feeling shit, is it? Right.
I'm tired, I should go. Well, I'm glad to know that wasn't cool.
Maybe sure. Do you want to come over?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing fine.
Sure.
I'm doing great, actually.
I'm okay.
You feel that?
It's really fine.
Are you doing okay?
Yeah, everything's great.
If I do have to describe the show to people, I like to say that we were trying to capture the feeling of millennial doom. It's the feeling of being constantly anxious about your life and the future, and you're not sure if you're taking it seriously enough, or maybe you're taking it too seriously, and you're wondering what the hell you're meant to be doing, or if you're making the right choices, but pretending like everything's going to be fine, because that's what we have to do, even though everything isn't fine. It's terrifying. The show is about that, but also enjoyable. Because it's not just about that feeling, it's also about feeling really lonely. The pitch that doesn't get you Screen Australia funding is that it's a story about anxious depressive people by anxious depressive people for anxious depressive people. And maybe I hang out with too many people like me, but that kind of seems like everyone. It's a show about people who feel disconnected, trying to connect with each other. And I promise I'm going to tell you about like what actually happens in it. But first, I want to make a quick detour and tell you about one of the most important people in my life. Someone who helps me connect better with people who I wouldn't be here without, and how we collaborated on this project together. My brother Mark, who's in the audience, is 2 years younger than me, and growing up together in Queensland, we're always close and we're always making things together. We created our own board games and comic books, opened cardboard box cafes with paper food, and before we could play instruments or write songs together, we would hold lip sync concerts for our parents with cardboard guitars. When we were a little older, my parents got a digital camera. We even shot little movies together, dressing up and playing all the parts ourselves, editing and adding sound effects we found on LimeWire. Movies and TV were kind of sacred to us because we were only allowed half an hour of Nintendo or TV each day after school until we were well into our teens. I've always had trouble sleeping, and remember sometimes if I couldn't sleep, my parents would show me the movies they love. Movies are a safe way to bond. That's why people see them on dates, because they give you something to talk about other than your complicated feelings about each other. That's not to get my parents. I was a difficult, moody teenager, if you'll believe it. Skip ahead to 2011 when Mark was in year 12 and I was dropping out of a fine arts degree at Queensland College, and it's my first major manic episode. And he was applying for film school here in Melbourne at BCA and asked my help with his application film. A few of my friends and I starred in what was kind of ironically an anti-smoking short film. He got in and moved here, and I stayed in Brisbane. But over the next few years, we've messaged each other a lot about movies and music that we're into. We were there for each other when we had no one else to talk to and knew we could always call each other. It was 3 in the morning and we were having a panic attack at a party. By the end of 2015, I was on my third attempt at higher education, studying creative writing, when Mark asked if I wanted to come down over the summer to play a small role in a really ambitious, tiny budget feature film he was directing. The character was a druggy, beer-loving musician dickhead. Thanks, Mark. I was 23 and still identifying as a boy, and the band I was in had broken up, and I was writing the kinds of mostly terrible short stories and poems that 23-year-old doomed musician boys write. Hanging out and helping on the film was really exciting, and seeing Mark work was awesome. I felt super proud and decided to move down. And in February of 2016, Mark had the opportunity to go to London and Berlin, where a short film he had made in his final year at uni was playing at some film festivals, and he asked me to go with him. We got to meet some amazing independent filmmakers from around the world and saw some really bad movies, like one about this American acting teacher who thought he was Indiana Jones, and some really good ones like this weird Scottish psychological thriller. The London Festival even had a little awards ceremony, and we were the youngest people there. Initially, everyone at our table ignored us, but Mark's short was nominated for 7 awards, and over the course of the night, even though he wasn't winning, the table started to notice and talk to us. I'm sorry, who are you again? He ended up winning an award for Best Story in a Short Film. When we got to Berlin, we were feeling pretty good about ourselves and went out a lot. I remember this one particularly embarrassing moment when we were in this club together, and I thought I was really hitting it off with this beautiful person early in the night. The clubs there are really intense, and Mark and I danced a lot, and anyway, later that night, I ran into the beautiful Berliner again and smiled at them and started to attempt to talk to them over the music. They quickly interrupted me and said, "I saw you on the dance floor," and I said, "What?" And they replied, "I saw you on the dance floor, I saw you vomit on yourself a little bit," and then they walked away. Back in Melbourne, I spent parts of the next year learning about post-production and helping out on sets with Mark and some of his friends, and at the beginning of 2017, we started writing this show together. There are 2 shows in particular that I was obsessed with: High Maintenance, which follows a lovable classical writing lead dealer and his customers through New York, and Her Story, an LA-based series about the dating experiences of a group of trans women. Both shows have heaps apart and managed to deal with some heavy and interesting subject matter in a small time frame. And writing together was like being kids again, and for me, it was a lot more fun than writing alone. When one of us came up with something, we had to convince the other one that it was good, and if it wasn't, we tried something else. In a few months, we had 6 scripts, following a group of young people in Melbourne, each experiencing their own kind of doom and mental health troubles, exploring how this affected their relationships. People like the best friends you purposely decide to move in with, the shitty guy you meet on a dating app that randomly rocks up at your house drunk, the brother you want to look out for who's partying too hard, the co-worker you should go home with, or the ex you run into a party when you're with the shitty drunk guy. I fell in love with collaborating and directing for the first time. And at first I was mostly shadowing Mark and learning from him, but eventually we developed a rhythm and secret hand signals and could split up to each direct a separate actor of a scene. It's the hardest I've ever worked in my life. Long days where one of us would sometimes have to be cooking lunch for everyone while the other dealt with all the things that inevitably go wrong. But it was amazing because we were dealing with issues like mental health and trauma and race, and one of the most rewarding parts is trying to communicate openly with everyone and do our best to create a safe environment for people to feel vulnerable and share their own stories. And after 5 months over the summer in post-production, we had this show which was an hour long and broken into 6 episodes, and we're really proud of it. Lately, I've been feeling a lot of doom. I'm feeling super burnt out after making the show, and I've put a pause on uni for the 4th time, taking a leave of absence. Since the beginning of the year, I've been undergoing hormone replacement therapy and going through my 2nd puberty. I've been so depressed and moody lately that Facebook has been advertising me period panties. I'm pretty scared about my future and whether I'm making the right choices, but I know I want to keep trying to make stuff with Mark. In 2016, when we were in that club together in Berlin after the whole vomit dance floor thing, I told him I was scared. I wasn't feeling good about who I was and how much longer I could keep trying to be an artist or honestly a human. I felt like my mental health was too fucked and unstable and I couldn't do it without him. But Mark has this really special kind of determination. I asked if he could take me with him. He hugged me and we promised to look after each other. That's kind of what the show is really about. It's called Everything Is Going to Be Fine. It's on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that, Heather. That was really beautiful. So we have one more screening, reading thing. This is Mimo, my very dear friend Mimo Mukii, who is a media producer working with short films, web series, words, and screens. So I was right to not be able to say what it was because it's a lot of different things. This year she launched ICU, which you can follow at Decolonizing Screens, a screen media platform where she showcases and discusses Black screen media. She's also the co-director of Girls on Film Festival and a lover of trash TV. Yeah. Her work explores themes of identity, intersectional feminism, representation, and decolonization. Please welcome Mimo.
Hi. Okay. So ICU is an online platform that showcases, discusses, and celebrates screen media from Africa and the diaspora. And I write about Black perspectives, experiences, and identities through the lens of film criticism and review. At this point, ICU is a solo endeavor, and for this event, I wanted to make a project that engaged members of my community who follow ICU and come from a similar background to me. I myself know that watching African and Afro-diaspora cinema is important to me, my identity and my sense of belonging, but I wanted to know how the people that follow ICU felt about it too. It also ended up being a great experience just talking to my friends about African and diaspora movies they've loved and hated, and it reaffirmed how important this work is to me. So I want to explore the connections between film, identity, and community for African Australians further, and this film really is my first iteration of what I believe will be a larger project for the future. Thank you to the lovely people who helped me make this project, particularly my interviewees, Wanji, Dalali, Kalu, Tina, and my little brother Gush. Much love. Also, thank you to Mia for inviting me to be here, and the Emerging Writers Festival for having me again. Yeah, let's watch it.
Watching African films really validates the African in me. Yeah, it's like the feeling of nostalgia, you know. It just makes me really look back and remember who I am.
I think the moment I started watching films which had actors like me and told stories that I could relate to and share experience with, I felt a stronger sense of belonging, and I don't know, I feel like I was normal.
Now that I have access to these African films, makes me want to feel like I want to tell stories myself, and it's very inspiring because these people's stories, they do need to be told. We should be able to find our voice in film.
The sense of empowerment and sense of longing when you see people who share the same hair, the same lips, the same skin as you on screen, and the same story, I guess, above all else. I think there's such a massive gap in storytelling and voices and representation.
I think something that's really cool about how we get to portray ourselves in the digital age is that, basically our portrayals are our own, and the way that we're conveyed is sort of decentralized, and we have so much control over what kind of things that we want to subscribe to. Seeing more films that are also written and directed by Black people, because I think it's interesting to see how we want to convey ourselves and our experiences.
In the context of my existence, where I have pretty much unlimited access to the internet, I couldn't have asked for a better time, I think, to be African. I think like the global community that is created internet is empowering.
And to be able to have these little spaces which are yours and which you can share with people who share your experiences and share your voice. It's really comforting and it's really empowering.
In a place where, you know, I'm a woman, I'm black, I'm queer, and having all these things together, you know, living in Zimbabwe, you think that you're the only one, and then coming here and just being able to voice these things on these communities, I feel like you're not the only one. That's incredible. It really validates what you're going through because you feel like no one else can.
And the internet gives people like easier access and also just a platform to create. And I think that's amazing.
I think we have so much more freedom in the ways that we're allowed to exist. So I guess it's really great.
Thank you so much for that. That was glorious. No, really, that anyway, this is the end of the screenings and readings for the night. You can still stick around and have a drink, and also go check out what's going on out the back. It's actually really cool. Like if you've just been sitting down, like sit somewhere else. I do it. Like I'm just bad at saying things. I've just had a lovely time, and you continue to have a lovely time and engage the art and with the artists. I would encourage you to go check out, support, and engage with their work, including Emma's book, Eloise's comics. Check out Inhabit, and also Manisha and Agnes's work. Go look at Heather's web series, Everything is Going to be Fine, and Mimo's online platform. Please do that. That's just like do it for yourself. Is what I mean. I'm not saying we are desperate. Although making a donation to the festival would be wonderful, and also supporting these artists in any way you can. But seriously, do it because it's worth it. Like it's great stuff, and it could if you are an emerging writer as well, like it's good to engage with this stuff. Like that, this is about you guys as well. I'm going to be poignant. I think you kind of understand what I was trying to say, even if what I actually said was just garbage. But shit, I made it all about me again. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you to the festival. Thank you to Lupa, to Mia, to Izzy, to Lynn. Hello, you are. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to you guys as well. And also, thank you to me. Thanks. Good night.